Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results in your neighborhood now at 6 a.m.
It's a frigid start across Central Florida as temperatures plunge into the 30s. We have team coverage on the chill and the new warning from firefighters.
And breaking overnight, 2 large wildfires burn out of control in California. The flames forcing evacuees to even leave their cars in the middle of the road.
And 2 local governments passing camping bans following a new state law. What the measures mean and why not everyone thinks they're a good idea. Good morning on your Wednesday at 6 a.m. I'm Crystal Moyer.
I'm Bridget Ellison. Trooper Steve's watching your roads. And Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos here with your pinpoint accurate forecast.
Yes.
It's definitely freezing this morning for some.
Well, interesting enough, we have freeze warnings for Marion County, frost advisories a little further south. So certainly another chilly start where yesterday the cold air was just starting to settle in. This morning we are right out the gate. Chilly and freezing. 45 degrees around downtown Orlando. Our sky cam there. Beautiful live look right now under partly cloudy skies, brought to you by Light Orlando, delivering hope together. Highs this afternoon, though, will continue to warm a little warmer than yesterday into the upper 50s to low 60s. So as you can see here, satellite and radar composites still showing a few high-level clouds expected to start streaming into Central Florida over the next few hours, which of course will continue to bring us kind of that mix of sun and clouds throughout the day. Now, temperatures out the door. We just warmed up a touch right now in Marion County. We were at 30 degrees. We're now at 32. A little bit of a breeze in place there. We're at 38 in DeLand, 45 in Orlando, and 40 in Cocoa Beach. Again, that freeze warning is in effect until 9 a.m. for Marion County. And then we have frost advisories in effect for areas to the east and south of Marion County, as there will be some widespread frost in the forecast. If you got some frost or any freezing conditions that you can maybe snap a photo, don't forget, would love to see them. Clickorlando.com/pins, or you can even upload those photos on our News 6 Pinpoint Weather app. We'll have more details, though, on how long this cold snap will last coming up in just a bit. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
Things still nice out here. 528 east and westbound out by 417. Nice and easy if you're headed eastbound this morning, maybe towards Innovation. I was out here yesterday over at the quote-unquote reception center. Nice range day weather. Very chilly out there. That wind was going. Rest of Brevard County looking real nice. Mims, Titusville, US 1 north and southbound, to include I-95, whether you're north of this area or maybe headed south towards Cape Canaveral. The easternmost portion of 528 out there at the Cape where it turns into US 1, nice and clear. And then, well, not US 1, that's going to be A1A. And then as you head a little further south into the city of Cocoa Beach at 520, nice and clear. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Trooper Steve. With the cold air settled into Central Florida, many of you likely have cranked up your heat by now.
Yeah, but that's also coming with a new warning from firefighters who say there are steps you need to take to help keep your family safe. News 6's Mark Lehman is joining us live this morning. And Mark, it's space heaters that firefighters are especially concerned about.
Yeah, that's because heating equipment is responsible for, it's a leading cause for house fires, and portable heaters nationwide are responsible for about 46% of those fires, and firefighters say that's something that can easily be prevented. Now, if you're using your HVAC system to heat your home, firefighters say it's important to keep in mind that when you turn it on for the first time, there may be a burning smell, but that's common with the dust burning off, and you should really only call 911 if you see smoke or flames. For now, reporting live in Orange County, Mark Lehman, getting results, News 6.
Mark, thank you. And the cold weather comes as local governments work to find ways to comply with a new state law banning the homeless from sleeping on public property. Both Orange County and Kissimmee passed ordinances last night. News 6's Angie Casada is live from Orange County now, and the move comes with some controversy, Angie.
Yeah, good morning. These ordinances ban public camping overnight and allows people to file complaints if there's any violations. Now, what we know right now is that local leaders are insisting that arrest will be the last resort, but critics are arguing the measures criminalize homelessness without addressing the bigger issue with lack of housing. Now, Orange County has said that it's allocated $65 million for homeless services, but many say that they believe more funding is needed to keep people off the streets. Reporting in Orlando, Angie Casada, getting results, News 6.
Angie, thanks. Now to some major breaking news overnight out west as two major fires are now burning out of control in the Los Angeles area. The fires have already destroyed several homes and caused tens of thousands to evacuate. The flames are being pushed by a Santa Ana windstorm that the National Weather Service says could be among the strongest to hit the state in more than a decade. There was such a mad rush to get out. Some even abandoned their cars and were forced to run after the flames got too close to the road.
I just leave my car right there.
Where's your car?
The cop said you have to leave it, and I leave my car right there.
The fire came right down to the road, and the fire department came up and said, get out of your cars now.
Got to make some quick decisions there. California's governor has declared a state of emergency. The high winds, meantime, are forecast to continue for days, producing gusts that could top 100 miles per hour in the hills around the city.
Turning back to the big weather story, this morning's big chill has growers and farmers in our northern counties on alert. And the Volusia town of Pearson's known as the fern capital of the world. With Valentine's Day coming up, growers spent yesterday making sure their crops are protected from the cold.
As the temperature drops, we'll first turn on the overhead sprinklers, and that's above the saran, and that will coat everything in water. And then as the temperature reaches freezing, that will freeze, and it'll create like an igloo effect.
So the cold snap comes as the fernery is still trying to recover from Hurricane Milton, and that cost them 10 acres of plants.
Really interesting. Candace created a little igloo over the plants there, but some places they're waking up to temps in the 30s. What?
Yeah, we have freeze warnings for Marion County. We have frost advisories in effect for areas like there in Pearson and Volusia County, Flagler, Lake and Sumter County as well. Speaking of Lake County, let's take a live look right now. Mount Dora sky cam. The winds are a little lighter. We got some people now on the roadways. It's clear skies, 40 degrees, but just enough of a breeze to actually make it feel like 34 at this hour. Elsewhere across parts of Central Florida, we are at that freezing point, hence why we do have that freeze warning in effect for Marion County through Reddick and Ocala. Some areas between Ocala and Bellevue down into those 30s as well. De Leon Springs at 37, Umatilla 36. Further south we go, we have a couple of those 30s mixed into a lot of 40s. Lake Helen at 38. We're at 39 in Claremont, same through Mascon and Tavares. And temperatures are going to continue to stay below average for another afternoon. We're in those 40s in Osceola County, and even right there along the barrier islands, it's very difficult to stay in those 40s, and you guys certainly are doing so far this morning. Now your temperatures throughout the day, our average is 72. We're going to continue to stay well below that for another day. Highs are going to get close to near 60 degrees, but we are looking towards another cold front that will be coming through this weekend. What does that mean for your rain chances? We'll have the full breakdown coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Candace. 610, a new proposal expanding the state's pre-K program.
Coming up, the bill filed in Tallahassee that could double kids' classroom time for no additional charge.
And a story that shocked the community. A 13-year-old girl vanishes only to be found dead days later. Up next, a detailed look into how investigators solved the Madeline Soto case.
And now it's time for your Cyber Tip of the Week, sponsored by ThreatLocker. Block untrusted software, including ransomware.
Inside Edition reporter Allison Hall. She's covered every story, but never anything like this. Next, Inside Edition.
Tonight at 7:30 on News 6.
It's a story News 6 has been following for months, the disappearance and murder of 13-year-old Madeline Soto.
Now, her mother's boyfriend, Stephen Stearns, was later arrested for the crime. As he awaits trial, we're taking you inside the investigation this morning. News 6's Mike DeForest showing us how police then interrogated both Soto's mother and Stearns.
Well, it's the beginning of Girl Scout cookie season, you know it, but the end is near for two iconic flavors.
Well, the organization says it's retiring s'mores and Toast J. They didn't say why they're discontinuing, but s'mores debuted back in 2017. The Toast J's rolled out in 2021. If you love those flavors, it's not too late to stock up. They'll be discontinued next year, so consider this your heads up.
Yep, and if you were watching us earlier, you know, Candace has that plug for some dealers out there.
I've got a lot of friends.
Here at News 6, though, you guys come out of the woodworks suddenly, because there are a few, and it's like, hey, I got something.
Yeah. It used to be competitive. Yeah, it was competitive. Mark Lehman had a Girl Scout for a long time, so we were very, you know, we had to be.
He's aggressive.
Yeah.
He's aggressive.
So someone would come with Remember the wagon?
Yes, the wagon.
It had a special squeak to it when it rolled. We knew that the Girl Scout cookies were.
Time.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the weather forecast. You know, maybe some hot cocoa and a little bit of cookies.
Okay.
Between, that for start things nice and warm. You know what? The teacher's like, please don't give your children hot cocoa before they come to school. Please don't. All right, let's talk about those weather headlines. It's frosty to start. We have freeze warnings for Marion County. We have frost advisories for Lake Sumter, Flagler, as well as Volusia County. So certainly frosty, freezing to start in some spots. And into the afternoon, we're going to be rebounding back into those upper 50s. Now by Friday and into the weekend, milder, still below average, staying in the 60s with some rain back into the forecast on Saturday. Our coverage sits about 30 to 40% all ahead of our next cold front. The system not expected to bring quite a punch of that cold air like this round of cold temperatures, but certainly keeping temperatures below average, at least for the first half of the next work week. Now, temperatures out the door, we are down to that freezing mark in Marion County, hence why we have those freeze advisories in effect. But areas inland in Volusia County, we're down into those 30s as well. But because we don't have as much of a breeze in place, that's allowing for a little more development of frost. So if maybe you didn't get a lot of frost yesterday, that was because of the wind. Today, you might actually have some of that on your windshield early this morning as temperatures will continue to warm up. Now, along the afternoon hours, though, we are going to continue to see more sunshine. That breeze still out of the north, which is going to be ushering in another cooler than normal day. Now, let's check on that hour-by-hour forecast for your Wednesday.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency? You ought to call Strata.
It's maybe one of those mornings it's hard to just get out the door because it is so cold. Into the afternoon, though, will be just a lovely afternoon to get outside. 59 will be our high today. Those nice clear skies overhead will allow for another night of temperatures dipping down into those 30s, almost area-wide with the exception of you guys there in Brevard County. So we'll be back down into those low 30s. A little bit more of a wider freeze concern is possible as far south as just the northern edge of Seminole County and into inland Volusia County, as well as those wake-up temperatures will continue to stay nice and cold. We are still going to be stuck in a chilly to cool pattern. You can see as we head into your Saturday, we're going to start warming things up a little bit ahead of that next cold front. But notice what's coming on the backside of that, another big plunge of cold air. That's going to be bringing with it another cool couple days into next week. So as we get results here, your full 7-day forecast, highs and lows are going to be staying below average at least throughout the next 7 to 10 days. Our next best shot for rain again comes Saturday afternoon. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
Sky 6 out there just cruising around right now along I-4, so we're good here. But way up on our north end, Altoona, good morning to you guys. We do have a crash out there currently. County Road 42 at Hinson Road. This is labeled as a serious crash, and it is delaying you east and westbound there. Seems just east of the intersection. So please be careful as you're cruising through this area. I know you guys tend to be a very calm town when it comes to traffic, but this morning we do have a crash out there. Daytona, good morning to you guys. Nice and clear along I-95 and I-4 at the 123.6, just east of Deltona. No issues there, or if you're exiting on 44. Ladies, back to you.
Thanks, Trooper Steve. At 6:21, a local preschool getting results through kindness.
Coming up, how they're teaching little ones big lessons and helping others.
This portion of the news is sponsored by the Flooring Center.
My wife's been in and out of the hospital. This was really going to help out.
So when you need results,
go to Channel 6.
Breaking news, traffic. When you need to know what's going on in your neighborhood, trust Sky 6 to get the bigger picture. Exclusively sponsored by attorney Dan Newland.
You've heard that saying, the calm before the storm. Well, there's actually some science to it.
Science.
Let me explain. So let's take the anatomy of a hurricane. This is the biggest storm we could get, right? So hurricanes get their energy from the warm, humid air surrounding it. So what it does, it sucks up all of that air right to the warm core. It then shoves all that air back up to the top of the atmosphere. But now the air needs someplace to go. So it shoots out over the hurricane and then starts to sink on the outskirts of the storm. So that air now is drier, sinking down to the surface. And it's that sinking air that makes it feel calm and sunny. That's why the weather is really nice right before a hurricane and just after.
Everything's fine.
Now this can happen with smaller storms, but certainly much more noticeable with big-time tropical systems.
It's 6:25 now to your money and some good news for those struggling to pay down medical debts. You could see a boost in your credit scores. The Biden administration is currently working on a rule to prevent medical debt from appearing on credit reports. So if Congress doesn't rescind the rule, about 15 million people would have an estimated $49 billion removed from their credit scores, and that's according to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. The rule will also ban lenders from using medical devices like wheelchairs as collateral for loans. Still to come on News 6 Mornings, 2 local governments take steps to comply with a new state law.
What both Orange County and Kissimmee are doing to avoid trouble when it comes to complaints involving the homeless.
Get the most out of News 6 with our Insider newsletter. Sign up to be an insider today at clickorlando.com/insider.
At News 6, you can see the commitment to breaking news. This entire team is mobilized in the newsroom and in the streets. We don't stop until everything you need to know has been uncovered. Our choppers in the sky, reporters are on the streets, and news teams are where they need to be. We're taking you places no one else can go, so you can really see what's happening. We do this for you. Breaking news on News 6.
Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results.
We're waking up some of the coldest air of the season with those plunging temps overnight. The warning from firefighters when it comes to heating your home.
Plus, 2 local governments sign off on new bans on camping in public. Why some say the rules are an unfair attack on the homeless.
An update on a mystery stench in Mount Dora. What a new report now says likely is not the cause, and what's set to happen next. Good morning, Central Florida. I'm Bridget Ellison.
And I'm Crystal Moyer. Thanks for staying with us on this hump day. We want to start with a check of our pinpoint weather with Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos. Some areas waking up, what, in the 30s?
Yeah, down into the 30s, and that's not feels like. That's the actual temperature officially, especially in Marion County, where we do also have a freeze warning. Looking here at the satellite and radar composite, no rain to talk about, but notice how much of that cold Arctic air mass has made its way all the way down south. Not as far south as like Miami-Dade and Monroe counties, but at the end of the day, most of the Sunshine State waking up with chill in place. Right now, we're at 32 in Ocala, 38 degrees in DeLand. We're pretty much in the 40s everywhere further south, including many areas in Brevard County down into those 40s. Now, again, when it comes to our watches and our warnings, we have a freeze warning in effect for Marion County. This will remain in effect until 9 a.m. And until the same time, we have frost advisories through most of Flagler, inland Volusia, and all of Lake and Sumter County, as widespread frost certainly could be a possibility. Highs today, though, back into the upper 50s. We'll have more details on how long this cold snap will last coming up in just a bit. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
Sky 6 out there cruising around in Seminole County. Man, that traffic is present across Central Florida, so please be careful. Still watching that crash up in Altoona, County Road 42 at Hinson Road. Please be careful. You could see heavy delay, but brief as you approach that intersection. And then I have another crash out in Deltona at Doyle and Saxon. All residential out here. Please be careful. This one's reported with no roadblock, but it's dark out there and everyone's headed out to school. I-4 east and westbound in Seminole, not bad, but you saw Sky 6 over there. That traffic starting to build up westbound. Guys, back to you.
All right, new this morning, and Central Florida is waking up to frigid cold. Firefighters are warning about some dangers you should keep in mind with space heaters. News 6's Mark Lehman is live with more about the common mistakes that firefighters are warning us to watch out for. Mark.
Yeah, there's a lot of them when it comes to space heaters. Firefighters say they're responsible for nearly half of all heating-related fires, and those are typically caused by people putting them in the wrong place or plugging them into an area where they shouldn't.
And News 6 is joining 9 other local news outlets to take a deep dive into the impact of Florida's new homelessness law. For 6 months, we'll be working together so you can better understand what's at stake here, from helping the homeless to how your tax dollars are being spent. So be sure to keep it right here on News 6 as we continue to bring you updates on our findings.
And new this morning, a Palm Coast Fire Police member's in critical condition after being hit by a car on the job. The fire department says the worker was directing traffic after another crash yesterday at Seminole Woods and Sesame Boulevards when they were hit. The first responder lost consciousness and was airlifted to the hospital. Their name has not been released yet. Well, that Arctic blast moving across Central Florida is sending our favorite sea cows in search of warmer waters. And during the winter months, manatees typically head to local springs and power plant discharge areas where the water is a bit warmer. And there were more than 600 spotted in just one day this week at Blue Springs State Park. And so It's 72 degrees, which is still kind of chilly to us.
Yeah.
But so nice to them, Candace.
But they're all so huddled up together,
Yeah.
plus the you know.
By the hundreds.
The body heat and all that stuff, yeah, by the hundreds. I think at one time they had like 900 of them at one point. All right, let's look at Mount Dora. We have a couple more cars there going through the main intersection there in downtown Mount Dora. Now, temperatures at this hour are going to continue to rebound. We're talking about temperatures back into the upper 50s to low 60s. Right now, though, we're at 40 degrees. When you factor in just enough of a breeze, it feels like 34. Elsewhere around Central Florida, you can see Bellevue is down to 34, in those 30s there through Reddick and Ocala. We're in those 30s all the way down south through Lady Lake and areas further south into Mount Dora and Pine Hills. Pine Lakes. Pine Hills, though, a little bit warmer at 42 degrees. Wedgefield at 41. And the further south you go, we're pretty much all in the 44-degree range there in Osceola County. Even the Barrier Islands and Brevard still holding in those upper 40s. So bundle up the kids. They will need it. They'll probably still need their sweaters, though, later on today, as highs expected to stay in those 50s. We'll have more details on our next cold front and the timing of the rain associated with that coming up. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
All right, guys. Unfortunately, this Altoona crash, we are upgrading to a fatal crash investigation. So County Road 42 at Henson Road will be completely shut down east and westbound, at least for the next several hours as this investigation takes place. They will have a detour set up. I would completely reroute you, but it would take you out of the city here. So as you approach this area, please pay attention. I am sure FHP and local units will have a detour set up. Out on I-4, we're starting to see those delays, so please be prepared. Today, for patrol, first visit of 2025 out to Orange County Animal Services. And I've already showed Bridget how cute this dog is, and you are going to want to meet him today. So join me at 10 a.m. at clickorlando.com or 7:30 with Breakfast with Bridget so you can get a little tease on what he looks like. All right, guys, back to you.
A sweet face. Well, it's never too early to teach kids lessons in kindness.
Still ahead, how one local daycare is proving even the smallest hands can make a big difference. First, though.
Where did the plane come from? How long were the individuals on the plane?
2 people found dead in the wheel well of a JetBlue plane. The warning from experts on why this disturbing trend is so deadly.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Freedom Health Medicare Advantage plans.
Exclusive deals, news, it's just a great way to know a little bit more beyond the newscast.
Some would say it's a meteorologist's job to be here during the afternoon showers and major storms. But we disagree. It's not just a job, it's our passion. We work hard analyzing the most advanced maps, radar, and data, bringing you a blueprint so you can take on the day with the ones you love. Getting results by keeping you safe. That's our passion, and that's just what we do.
This morning, we're waiting to find out the identities of 2 stowaways found dead on a JetBlue plane in South Florida. The flight arrived at Fort Lauderdale Monday night from New York. Investigators say the jet started its day in Kingston, Jamaica. The bodies were discovered in the landing gear compartment during a maintenance inspection. The area is not pressurized, and that means anyone inside it would be faced with extreme cold and oxygen deprivation.
People take it into their minds that they can get away with it, that they know a way to do it, and it will turn out poorly.
The latest FAA data says 80% of wheel well stowaways die during flight.
Well, at one local preschool, kindness isn't just taught, it's lived.
That's right. It's called the Learning Experience in Apopka. And as News 6 anchor Ginger Gadsden shows us, it's an example how it's never too early to start teaching little ones lessons in kindness that can last a lifetime. It's like a big warm hug.
It makes me happy to watch them do all that.
Yeah, it's just great. And kudos to the teachers too, because you know it's 4 and 5-year-olds. I speak from experience. Are just they're a lot, especially when you have a lot of them in one classroom. To be able to guide them in that direction, everyone together.
You can teach kids anything at that age. I'm glad that you're teaching them the right things. So that is nice.
Lots of kindness. All right, spread some kindness as well as we continue to see a lot more of those cold temperatures across Central Florida. As we continue to see those temperatures this afternoon staying in the 50s. Frosty mornings like we are dealing with right now. Frost advisories are in effect for Lake Sumter, Volusia, Flagler County. We have a freeze warning for Marion County. So many of our northern counties are under some sort of cold advisory. And then into the day, though, we will warm up a little further into the upper 50s, maybe a few 60s to play with. And then as we head to Friday and Saturday, certainly milder as we get back into the upper 60s. So about a 10-degree jump between today and about Saturday. Now, speaking of Saturday, that's when the approach of our next cold front's expected, and that will be bumping up rain chances about 30 to 40%. So temperatures out the door. We are at that freezing point at 32 in Ocala. We already dipped down to 30. We're in those mid to low 40s, slightly warmer right now, and that's primarily because we are starting to see a little bit of cloud cover kind of filtering in, and that's allowing those temperatures to kind of, stay not as chilly as what we could have been if those skies were completely clear. Temperatures right now 44 in Cape Canaveral. Now let's check on that hour-by-hour forecast for today.
Your forecast is sponsored by Freedom Health Medicare Advantage plans.
All right, your highs this afternoon still staying cool, much cooler than our average of 72, by the way. Upper 50s for our northern zones. Could get a couple of those low 60s by about 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon. Now, when it comes to the frost and freeze potential, we'll have another round of it late tonight, early tomorrow morning. Possibly even a wider spread here for some freeze concerns through Marion, down through villages as far as south as almost Seminole County and into southern Lake County. And then frost advisories for pretty much everyone else. As we look here, kind of widening out the view, today we're going to continue to see that breeze coming in out of the north. Same story for Thursday, which is why it will stay nice and cool. Then come Friday and Saturday, that big ridge of high pressure will start to veer off more onto the open waters, and that's going to start veering our winds in more off the east coast, and that will start warming things up. But this is going to be the next big story. The same area that had a big time winter storm earlier this week will have another winter storm this weekend. Snow, sleet, and ice across parts of the Appalachians into the mid-Atlantic states as well on Friday. So traveling will be pretty dicey no matter how you're traveling through that area. And then come Saturday, we are going to continue to track a couple of those scattered showers. Rain chances aren't going to be extremely high, or the storm chances won't be a big concern, but our coverage will be about 30 to 40%. But other than that, staying dry, staying cool, at least throughout the next 7 days. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. They're getting kind of busy this morning, Steve.
Yeah, we are back to normal across Central Florida. No more holidays, and unfortunately, we are watching this fatal crash up in Altoona. County Road 42 shut down at Henson Road, east and westbound, completely shut. So County Road 450 is going to be your alternate, aka Collins Street. Zoomed out a little bit here. At about a 10-minute detour, 15 minutes if you can, please, this morning, because this will be closed for quite some time. I-4 looking pretty good this morning, but those delays out by the attractions are heavy this morning, leading to a drive time from Champions Gate to downtown. Not horrible. 28 minutes. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Trooper Steve. Breaking overnight, homes burned, thousands forced to flee after new wildfires break out west. The extreme winds helping to fuel the flames next as we check our big stories.
Discover the magic of color at Crayola Experience, Orlando's most colorful hands-on family attraction.
In the morning, we're bringing you the stories that matter most to you.
Exactly. You want to know what's happening in your neighborhood.
You wake up and you get what you need before your day begins.
That's what News 6 Mornings does every day. You got to watch before you go.
It's 6:53. Let's check our big story, starting with Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos in parts of Central Florida waking up to freezing temps.
Yeah, freeze warnings are in effect for Marion County. Frost advisories for areas to the east and south here until about 9 a.m. as temperatures are going to continue to stay chilly for the next few hours. Upper 30s, low 40s right now. But into the afternoon, we're going to try to get back into those upper 50s. Another chilly and frosty night before things start to warm up, all ahead of our next cold front by the weekend.
Our days of cold weather has firefighters issuing a new warning when it comes to space heaters. Statistics show those heaters are responsible for nearly half of all home heating related fires. So firefighters are urging people not to make common mistakes like putting them within 3 feet of anything that can burn. They also say it's normal to smell a burning odor when you use your home's heating system, and that you shouldn't call firefighters unless you see smoke or flames. Angie?
Yeah, leaders in Kissimmee and Orange County have passed new rules officially banning camping in public. Now, the new ordinance is meant to comply with a new state law aimed at cracking down on homelessness. Critics, though, say that the new rules are unfair and will lead to the homeless getting arrested for no reason. Now, here in Orange County, Mayor Deming said last night arrests would be the last resort and that the county is focused on getting help to those people in need. Bridget.
Angie, breaking overnight, fast-moving fires in Los Angeles burned homes and forced tens of thousands to evacuate. The flames being fueled by some of the strongest Santa Ana winds the area has seen in more than a decade.
A months-long study says the Mount Dora wastewater plant is likely not the source of a foul smell some people say they've been dealing with for years. The city is now going to bring in another consultant to try and get some answers.
We are watching a fatal crash, unfortunately, this morning up in Altoona. County Road 42 at Henson Road shut down completely in both directions. You're using County Road 450 or Collins Street as your alternate. This will take several hours to clear up. Outside of that, Sky 6 just cruising around out there along I-4 like Candace had mentioned. There's a lot of cars out there this morning, so please make sure you're paying attention. No other crashes to watch. 28-minute Champions Gate to 408 and opposite direction there. Not doing too bad this morning, so we're looking pretty good out there on our main roads.
All right, and back in 25 minutes with more updates and break news at clickorlando.com.
You can also find all of our stories and podcasts on our new 6 Plus app for your TV.
CBS Mornings is up next. Have a great day.
Get the scoop on every theme park with our In the Loop Theme Park Scoops newsletter. Sign up at clickorlando.com/newsletters.
I gotta get things started. Yeah, 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 yeah. Get things started with News 6 Mornings. You gotta watch before you go.